Chun are not boxing. Okay? In the old day, you go back like 16th century. I'm not going to do this to you, but I just want to talk about it, right? You're not going to be like, all right, we're going to war with the other clan. Sharpen up your boxing gloves. They'd have swords, okay? So the sword fighting heritage from, I'm going to say 16th, 17th century in China, it was alive and well. And this is the origins of the system. Very fortunately, it's been safeguarded for generations, and it only came to the public with Grandmaster Yitman, and he only taught out of necessity because he lost all of his wealth and had no other option to make money except to teach his Kung Fu. So the sword has been hidden for generations until finally he teaches the public, and only a very small handful of his students ever made it far enough where he trusted them with the knife. Okay, but this is the Wing Chun knife, and in Chinese they call this Baat Cham Do. Bat is the word for 8. Cham can be hacking or slashing, and Do is a sword. Okay, so 8 angles. Kali has 8 angles. There's the cross, there's the X, there's your 8 angles. Okay, and so there's a lot of systems are really similar because there's not that many trajectories of angle you can create. So with the sword in mind, if he had, let's just say you have a sword. He's like, I need a sword. Okay. Go ahead and put the sword up. If I tried to get him in the head, there's a probability I might end up getting cut in return. Okay, so it's like not smart to try to risk a head cut when there's still a blade in play. Okay, so the sword fighting, the boxing, most boxing systems I understand came from sword fighting. You see pirate ship fighting and then the boats and merchant ships and all this stuff. They had swords, small swords, big swords, the knuckle guard, the cutlass and all these things. They'd be boxing with the guard when you get in really close. And so you can see that this design has a knuckle guard. So let's just say I'm here and trying to cut my hand. Right? I would just steer the guard into it. Let's say you go here, I'll try to cut you in the hand, you put your guard in. Just turn it like this. You just turn it. Just steer where you want to go with it. Okay? I'll try to cut you in the hand, you just cut that off. You try to cut me in the hand, I would just, literally cut the angle off. There's no way you can hit me in the hand easily. Okay? Not without me guarding it or measuring it. So you see the knuckle guard, this is like, hey, if I hit you in the face with this, it's pretty close to boxing. So when we got really close, obviously I could be punching him, but it's possible that could be part of the cut. Sword fighting, boxing, one and the same. If you box like a sword fighter, you're going to wreck people. And this is because you're going to fight with the sword in mind. Because if I'm like, I'm going to get this guy, and he goes, jab, I go like this, you go make a jab, it's not safe. It's not safe. So what we do is you have to hunt the limb. You have to defang the snake. You have to hunt the actual thing holding the weapon. Now, if there is no weapon, okay, it's a lot safer to practice. We can train for generations and nobody dies. Okay, I could use this in the street in unarmed combat, but if armed combat shows up, I really ought to know how to use that. So later on, and then old people that I trust will actually learn that maneuvering and be able to say that their Wing Chun has the knife. Okay, but all of these tactics are exactly the same as when we go put the knives in your hands. So if you train Wing Chun, any bits of Wing Chun, and you have these rhythms, you have these cycling, and you can flow and rotate and do these figure eights and all these things, and then I give you swords, you're like, dude, I already know how to use these. This is a piece of cake. Somebody try to hit me. Because you have the knife already in the mind. Okay? So he has his guard up. Immediately, I wouldn't try to hit him in the head, I would try to check his guard. So this means that in order to enter, I'm going to do a progressive layering of stepping in. Okay? So the primary weapon that we're going to use to make first contact is a straight thrust. Okay? And this would be like engaging with my sword. I would put the sword out. And then either he has to touch it, or he would be, of course, hit by it. Okay? So like, let's just say you have your sword out, and I put my sword out. He needs to put his sword in the way. Once he puts his sword in the way, I can follow through. Okay? So I want to do something like this. So we're going to touch, and then once we touch, now we can walk through. I'd like to blur the line between this. I taught you guys this. Okay? We've been working puck, we've been working on jab, we've been working going cross side and same side, and so I'll blend the lines on this. So I'm going to touch him. The moment I make any contact here, I'm going to steal this thing from him. Okay? So you can steal it with two other weapons. So first I would touch it, and then I would slap it. Okay? And when we slap it, I would try to make it like the sword. So I would engage and I'd cut his hand off. Okay? Now, with the sword, it's going to look like a fist. With no sword, it's going to look like a palm. So I touch him and I cut his hand off. So the strike is strike. It's not me saying, I'm going to block him. I'm going to destroy his hand. So I would engage his sword and cut his hand off. 2 swords is better than 1. Am I right? 2 swords is way harder to fight. So we bridge. That's done with a straight thrust. The same jab you guys were running. As soon as we touch, now I'll try to see if I can close the gap. Okay? And we blast right through that line. So the first would be to slap. I contact and slap and step, or I would contact and grab and step. Those are two options. So we're running out of time. I'm going to go through these. Okay? So this contact happens milliseconds before this one happens. Okay? He has his other sword up, so it's not going to be a free pass. If he's training this, I'm going to end up interacting with that. So then you need more moves. It would eventually get to the head. If I could cut all the weapons away, and let's say I've cut them all, and he has no hands left, okay, this is an easy fight. So I cut the hands off, and then you can take the head anytime you want. Okay? So touch, there's a length of distance, we're still in that kick range. Touch and I blast through. Touch the front barrier, go through. Okay? He's training his pocket, you guys know I'm training the pocket style, so feel free to leave it up. And the drill could stop at that here. Okay? I'm not going to get into too much initially. I want to get to the front door, or I would actually grab and strike. Okay? If he ends up cross-handed, we're familiar with this. I go in with the other one, I stay on the same on the other side. Once I got closer, it doesn't really matter, left lead, right lead, I'm going to be beating hands up. Whatever he shows up with, I'm stealing them from him. Okay? So here, right? And that's the way in. I wouldn't want to lean in and reach in, because let's say you backed up, just back up, don't follow with you, just back up. Now I've got to follow him, it's not good. So elements of good form. Tail, head, connect, and go through. He's trained, so he's going to have a nice defensive reflex. Okay, so he does slap, strike, step. 3 elements, 1 time. Okay, that's 1. Or connect, and at the contact, I would now capture him. Okay, capture him. Goes like this. It goes like this, it goes like this. And you see in the boxing forms of Wing Chun, there's so many moves where the hand goes all the way out, and then it turns. Goes out and turns. Once it turns, now I can capture it. Let's go out. The benefit of the chain punch is that because it's closed, it can mean that you have something in your hand. Okay, so when I punch, that's that. Right? So we'll go catch, punch, or catch, slap. Catch, punch. If he catches indoor, this is sometimes a problem because nobody's guarding out. Okay, so this happens. It would be better for you to catch me with a cross-hand connection on your defense. Okay? Run through it. Connect, connect, connect and step. I want you guys to strike that hand. And then when you go to grab it, I want you to rip it away. We have path movements of the hand techniques like this. Down, or cuts. Okay? So I literally rip his hand to the earth. Okay? At the same time, I'll feed the other hand. You got this? Okay. Connect and slap. Connect and punch. Grab and punch. If you have your other hand up and it's guarding your nose, then I'll probably end up touching it, and on this side, he'll catch me parallel with a slap. On this side, go back again, he'll catch me cross-handed. Try to catch cross-handed like this. You guys all see that? Okay? If you understand this, you can grab again. Right? Okay? Some of you guys know more, but I want to start with that. Okay? We have still a little time. We're going to go out to 5 here. Let's just start with that. Questions? Can you see it again? Slap.
One more time.
Yes, perfect. I love that. So, right here is crucial territory, right? We were just all over the place trying to get through the front door, trying to make contact. That's it. I don't waste a lot of time with this contact. He just barely gets a touch from me, and as soon as I have a measure of it, I destroy it. Okay? Now nobody's guarding this, you can just reach out. Okay? You just don't want to do this. I'm underneath myself. So if I want to kick or move in or sweep, it's all there for me.
So your
Elements of posture.
Your pocket's very close, and it's very close to his elbow.
Yes,
He's really
yep.
getting his elbow in his
I already have his wrist occupied.
Okay, yeah.
So that territory is not actually available to me anymore. So right behind it.
And you don't want to go above his elbow, or do you? Is that okay?
I don't search for it. As long as I can hit
Search
the
for
front
it.
of the bridge.
Okay, so
What we call the bridge is this front part of the form. As soon as I have this, I can safely now do something with this now. At the moment, he can't go through this without getting resistance. If he pushes into me, I have structure. Right? I can structure up. We try not to go force on force. If he really wants to push, I'd send him that way. You pull him against his push.
Just notice he doesn't push down on the arm. He pushes
Yeah, right into his heart, right into his center.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is blast through this.
yeah.
I'll end up in a structure that's two elevations. Okay, so okay. It's what's called pak da or pak dar, as a slap strike. Okay? Or connect and grab, and grab strike. We don't like to do this and then be like, hey, because he's got one. So I would feed him an attack. If I'm attacking you, you have to defend. So we attack the attack. Okay? Or, no, sorry, I want to grab. Okay? You're only as good as your base, and so feel free to add to that if you see things. Okay? Good? Go ahead. Yes, good. Thank you for that. Appreciate the comment.